Hello there, Charlotte. All right, great work with your essays. Sorry for the delay. As I said in my message, we're just getting a ton of essays at the moment. So that's why I'm stepping in and doing it for Ellen. So let's go. Some people who have been in prison become good citizens and often argue the best bits. Okay, I know this topic, I know this essay question. Morality education doesn't really exist. It has been emphasized in recent. Okay. The morality of teenagers has been emphasized in recent decades. Okay. If you did want to go that way. Yeah, emphasized. Let's go to British English. Okay. In recent decades, after inclining to academic study in school for a substantial period. That doesn't make sense. Yeah. After inclining? After declining in school for a substantial period, possibly. Some reckon is a little bit informal, okay? Some believe, I think is better. Some believe that and who could we say instead of some? Educational psychologists, and pick up some topic-specific vocabulary. And it's a safe one because it's a noun. You know, it's not some crazy grammar structure, which is risky. So consider upgrading some of these. Some believe that the former prisoners because we're not talking about specific ones we mentioned previously. Okay, we're talking about in general, so we don't need the. Some believe that former prisoners who deeply regretted their wrongdoings may be perfectly suitable educators of the youths. Okay. Again, as well, maybe we could probably delete that as well. I think it'd just be easier of youths. Here's another tip as well, Charlotte. You can change some of these to plurals, and then you don't have to worry about the articles as much. Okay. Maybe perfectly suitable educators for youths as well. I think sounds better. As explicitly and as they, we've got to get the subject in there. As they explicitly understand the grave consequences of breaking the rules. Beautiful sentence there. Shall subscribe to the above view to a small extent on the account of potential difficulties on the implementation. Yeah, that's not really, that sentence is not relevant to the topic. It's relevant to every single essay in the world. I could put that sentence into an essay about nuclear power, about, I don't know, university studies. I could put it anything, and the examiners spot these sentences, okay? So what we teach here in our online course is something like this essay will look at both these issues using examples from, I don't know, Hong Kong University and Canada to demonstrate points and prove examples, okay? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And also, I mean, we give you these copy-paste sentences, but eventually you start making them your own, so they don't sound as copy-paste, but it's just like, not a cheat sheet, but it just pushes you ahead faster, pushes you forward faster, you improve faster. It isn't deniable that this policy can offer valuable chances to students and rehabilitating people alike. And chances to students, and I think rehabilitating people is a bit unclear, and former criminals alike, you know. The previous criminals learnt from their horrible mistakes, have the clearest acknowledgement of law violation, from the starting initiatives to the suffocating fear afterwards. They can persuasively warn our future pillars. Persuasively warn potential future criminals not to follow their footsteps by vividly portraying their first-hand experience. Okay, so good sentence, perhaps a little bit on the long side. And long sentences can be risky because the longer the sentence is, the greater the chance of a grammatical mistake. Okay, and also it helps with ease of delivery. If we just break this one, especially this one, if we break it up into 2 or 3 sentences, it just gets that little bit easier to follow. Probably just break it up into 2 sentences, actually. Inducing resonance is significantly effective. Okay, so we do not use that term. Okay? As to persuade is not needed in commercial advertising courses. They're not. It's too specific, that. Okay? It's too specific. The examiner is definitely not going to understand what that is. Okay? I'm pretty certain. And yeah, so just be careful. It's simply effective to persuade is not in commercial advertising courses. Hence, the teenage students are more likely to stay alert when the real-life stories of the speakers touch their soul. Okay, a little bit, you know, it's not literature, okay? It's very colourful, but it's not literature. This is academic English, and we don't usually speak like that, okay? So we could say, here's a suggestion. When realized stories of the speakers have an impact, okay? The arrangement also navigates those re-entering societies to a place where they can contribute, assisting them to build up confidence consequently. Beautiful. Good. That's not necessary. Build up confidence. Good. To conclude, there are not, again, empty sentence. Okay? To conclude, there are numerous advantages, such as dissuasion and introduction and a slow reintroduction into society for the criminals. Something like that. Yeah? Regretfully, the above suggestion is deemed to be exaggeratedly ideal, considering the inevitable difficulty in judging the inner nature of humans. And guessing, that's what we wanted to say. So is Google. Google's guessing the same. Is it? Yeah, it's slightly better. In judging the inner nature of humans. Okay, so again, I just go for clarity here. There's like, in my opinion, there's too many big words here, and it's almost like you're stuffing them into the paragraph to score points at the cost of clarity, okay, which is very, very, yeah, it's quite a costly mistake. Also, we don't really want to talk about the above suggestion, okay? We could say something like, however, there are other sides to the to introducing criminals back into society, okay? But we don't want, because it's a new paragraph, we shouldn't really refer to something we just mentioned in the previous one. We can just say it again, okay? Although we can set up countless psychological tests to evaluate a former criminal, great sentence, never can we be sure whether he or she has their bad motives altered. Good. But could we say instead of bad criminal, we just mentioned it, the illegal motives altered. Social science research, okay, plural noun. It's uncountable noun. Social science research from the University of Hong Kong indicates that the rate of second crime conviction was over 60% by 2020. Beautiful. Displaying the hardship of amending a false habit. Having past criminals talking to youngsters indispensably poses the latter to risks when the atlas believes, what's that? Teenage use beliefs, maybe? Yeah. Teenage youth are sometimes too easy to be shaken by one with evil intention. Okay, so it's like, again, it's too fancy. And because it's too fancy, I have to read it again because it's not clear. Okay, talking to youngsters. Okay, having past criminals talking to youngsters. Okay. Could be dangerous and possibly tempt listeners to commit crimes. I think that's what we're trying to say. It's totally unclear, even though grammatically it's okay. Despite being a skeptic, there are always threats when allowing the educational conversation. when allowing educational conversation. Yeah, that's better. And I wouldn't even say allowing, when discussing educational matters. Okay, but I think we've just gone a little bit off topic, because it kind of ending sentences like there's risks when we allow this conversation. Yeah, but you can just hear it's not so clear what's going on here. Are we talking about the risk of the criminals talking to youngsters? Or are we talking about the risk of them committing another crime? Yeah? So we need to get that clear. The online course, we've got like structures for you to follow, and it just becomes so much easier, and it speeds up the whole improvement process. It's not cheating, because even though these templates, like full of band name vocabulary and structures, we encourage you to use them and use them again and again to improve your writing. And they eventually become your structures and your writing, because you start learning them, adapting them to your topics and your experience. And it's just a much faster way to improve. Also, the clarity of the paragraphs jumps exponentially. Everyone deserves a second chance. This is a great statement of forgiveness and compassion. Okay, I would avoid using quotes because they can be quite dangerous. I would most willingly agree that those learned from their past, could ring the alarm in an undoubtedly effective manner. But effective manner is fine here. It's just like too much, and gain confidence in return. Good. Nevertheless, great one. As there is no utopia, hardly can we ensure the safety of teenage youth when being impossible to have concrete evidence of kindness. Okay, so it's a bit too long there, I would honestly believe. And again, this is academic English, not literature. Okay? And we're not going for fanciness. We're not going for this literature style. We're going for academic English, which is much more succinct, and clarity comes higher than using these fancy sentences. Okay, the bar graph depicts the average profit which telecommunication retailers gain from mobile internet or telecommunication services subscribers per month. Good. Customers are from 8 different countries. I would have written the word 8, okay, and then use numbers when we're talking about the numbers on the chart. Be careful, little mistakes like that would cost you. Okay, by comparing the revenue retrieved by offering distinct services, the one of telecommunication is the most... Okay, so telecommunication, job done. Yeah, telecommunication is the most profitable in every country. Beautiful, except for generating an equivalent gain, namely one as providing internet and data in Japan. Good. So what I like about this is that you've got the key idea here, and you've noted the exception. So that's fantastic. So this category top in all the remaining countries. Beautiful. On the contrary, the earning from mobile is apparently the lowest in every place. Good. Maybe location there, which is merely half of that obtained from clients for services, or even less. For instance, in Germany, $67 revenue from service, whereas barely 27 profit from... Okay, so we're getting these two mixed up. These two are different figures. Okay, so we could say, for instance, in Germany there is $67 for service, whereas barely 27 for mobile. Okay, well, the latter is merely 1/3 of the former. Okay, the latter is 1/3 of the former. I'd say it's half. Is merely is almost half of the former. Okay, a great little sentence. Merely 1/3 of the former, the latter. Great work. We just got the numbers and proportions a bit mixed up, I think. That's 70. In my mind, that's 30. 30 is not a third of 70. Okay. When contrasting the numbers in the multiple area, we've got plural here, so multiple is just redundant. In the areas, the two countries from the Asia-Pacific region have noticeably higher revenue, while the profit generated in Japan surpasses all other places at 264 in the aggregate. Okay, I don't know if Australia has the largest sum retrieved from the sales of services. Good. Okay, so that's probably just another sentence. Okay. Oops. Earnings are relatively less than the European countries. Good. The lowest number is observed in Italy, which is $16 for mobile. It is as well the place with the least profit overall for the service. That of internet and data is slightly lower in the United Kingdom with a gap of $2. Great. Great. So again, we're noticing the exceptions, the maximums, the minimums. That's fantastic. All in all, now, let's just go to summarize. It's conclusively clear, beautiful, that providing telecommunication services is the most lucrative sale on the whole. Good summary, which has an enormous difference, which has an that of mobile subscription. In terms of content, the business is more profitable in the APAC than in Europe. Countries especially substantial in Japan and Italy. Beautiful way to finish. Beautiful summary. Great. You got all the data points there, and it was well written as well, apart from the small little mistakes that I pointed out. So your task 1 is great. Task 2 definitely needs some work, and we can definitely work on that. Okay, super work. Let's keep on improving, Charlotte, and have a look at the links I send you, and hopefully we can carry on improving your work when you join our online course.